Hey there, thanks for tuning in. This is the Tammy Time Design YouTube channel. I'm Tammy, and today I've got another collection breakdown for you. This is part 3 in this series. I will have the other 2 videos listed below in the description box. If you haven't watched the other videos, it might be helpful to watch them first. I do explain more about how I'm separating my papers and why. These are the last 2 collections I have. I am super excited to break these down today and merge these papers into my system. The collections I'm breaking down today are Farmer's Market by Echo Park and Family Night from Carta. And that's where we'll start with Family Night. So let me move Farmer's Market off to the side and get this collection into the frame. Okay, I think that looks good. If you look at this collection, it's obvious that this is all about family activities like board games and movie night. Just looking at all of the different patterns in this collection kit, you might be inclined to keep this together. This is very theme oriented. And how are you going to know where you put that dominoes paper or where you put the bingo paper? If you play board games with your family, like my husband and I do, and you want to document that activity, this would be great to just pull off the shelf and find all of these papers together. I get it. My brain goes there too. And if that's what you're thinking, maybe this is the collection you should keep together. The reason I won't is because when I have a group of photos to scrapbook, I always go to the same place to find papers. I go to my stack of new papers and then I look through my kit starters. And it never occurs to me that I have a collection like this that I should pull instead. Could I set this aside and go find photos to scrapbook right now and make it a point to use it? Sure, I could. But I prefer to work on my layouts only when they inspire me, and I don't have any photos right now ready to go that I'm inspired to create with. So these papers really need to be moved where I'll find them and use them. And even though these papers are themed, I've gotten much better at looking past the theme. By breaking this collection down, you get away from only thinking about these papers like they should be used to document board games and family night. This one might be more of a challenge because it's so specific, but let's break it down and see what we can do. This collection was designed by Stephen Duncan. He has a very distinctive style. He does an amazing job at creating these retro style collections. Here we have families doing all kinds of activities like playing Twister, watching TV, lounging on the sofa, and listening to records. On the B side is a nice red tone on tone print. So if you have a hard time using the kind of graphics on the A side, this side could be added into any kind of page kit. The next page is a collection of what looks like board game boxes. There are no actual branded board games here, but it's not really hard to figure out which one is which. The Life Spinner for the Game of Life, Twister, Scattered is probably for Scrabble, Tycoon would be for Monopoly, right? So if you are documenting family board game night, this would be a great paper to use. And this could actually be a great kit starter. This is a multicolor paper, so you could pull in one of the other tone on tone papers. You could also cut these into each card and use them on several layouts, or cut this into thirds and use one full block on your layout. Lots of options with this paper. On the B side, okay, I love this aqua color. It's another tone on tone paper with starburst. It has a retro feel, but it could be pulled into any kind of kit where you need this aqua color. If you'd have a hard time using the other side, this is another great pattern and could for sure go into my rainbow pile. The next paper has game pieces, dice, and the life spinner. So another paper perfect for documenting board game play. This is a multicolor paper, so it could be a good kit starter if you want to keep some of these papers together for a page kit. On the B side is a tone on tone navy blue polka dot. This paper could absolutely go into a kit or the rainbow bin. Nothing about this paper says anything about board games. It's just a nice navy polka dot paper. Next up is a cut apart sheet with some journaling cards and family night images. Lots of fun retro style images, very family oriented. And on the back is a full sheet of dice, or these could be dominoes, I guess, however you want to look at it. This is the first paper that both sides are both pretty specific. The next paper is full of TV and radio consoles. Remember when TVs used to sit inside a piece of furniture like this? Or did I just date myself? The very first TV I remember my parents had was like this inside a giant console. This paper would be great for documenting photos of childhood. I was born in the early 70s, so I could for sure dig up some photos that would work with this paper. This would be a great background paper, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with board games. If you still have a record collection, you could use this paper to document it again with that fun retro style. And on the B side, yeah, we have the records. So great for documenting music or even for creating a layout about how the way we've listened to music has changed over the years from records to streaming. The next paper has film slides with some cute family faces in some of the slides. Another paper that doesn't really have anything to do with board games. My grandfather actually used to develop his own photos back in the day, and my mom used to have a ton of slides, but I don't think my dad has them anymore. On the B side is a multicolor blue paper. I wouldn't say tone on tone because there are several colors, but it reads kind of like a tone on tone. I'm not sure I would ever use the slides on the other side, but this one could definitely go in a kit. This page is a phrase paper with many of the same images we've seen in the collection. This would be a great paper to fussy cut and to make your own ephemera with. I can see this paper cut into thirds and using a 4 by 12-inch block on a layout. And on the B side, we've got another tone on tone print with another aqua color. Great for a kit or again to put in the rainbow pile. Okay, this paper is everything. Seriously, one of the cutest papers I've seen in a long time. I'm sure everyone knows what this is. It's styled from the opening song of the Brady Bunch TV show. I need this paper. I don't have any layout ideas at the moment, but I need to come up with something that does justice to just how adorable this pattern is. So fun. I don't remember this when it came out, so I'm really glad I have the collection, if just for this paper. On the backside is a text print with all kinds of family words and sayings, very nice sentiments like family is not an important thing, it's everything, and the most important thing in the world is family. The next paper is full of colorful soda bottles. This is another retro style paper that doesn't have anything to do with board games or family, really. I could use this to document something I picked up recently. A few months ago, we were at an antique shop and I found a crate and a full collection of Pop Shop bottles. Does anyone else remember the Pop Shop? You'd take your empty bottles back and refill the crate. We had a pop shop in Spokane, Washington, where I grew up, and I had to have that crate. This paper would be perfect to document how I found it, my memories from childhood, having a pop shop soda at every holiday and event, along with photos that I can take of the crate I just found. This is a multicolor paper, so you could use this as a kit starter. On the B side, it's set up like a game board. This is super fun and would be the perfect background for a page about board games. All of the same retro images we've seen in the collection thus far. I love this little image of the girl talking on the phone and holding up her cat. If you cut this in half, you could still use the soda bottles on the other side. The next paper has a bunch of colorful bingo cards. These are nice images. Remember some years ago when all of the collections had a page of bingo cards, but none of the cards actually said bingo? It's kind of nice to have actual bingo cards. My mom loved to play bingo, and my dad still plays today. In the community where he lives, bingo is played on Monday nights. I wish I had some photos of them playing bingo together. That would have been a fun thing to document. On the B side is a multicolor paper with more of the starburst design. This paper could go into any kind of kit, even though the icon has kind of a retro style. There's a dark teal, a light teal, and a yellow, all on a white background. The next paper is full of food, pizza and hot dogs and ice cream cones and popcorn. This would be perfect for documenting a day at the fair or a night at the movie theater. Again, breaking this out of the collection and thinking about other activities that you could document with this paper. We don't see a ton of papers with pizza, so if you have a pizza night tradition, this would work for that. On the B side is another tone on tone red paper. This could go in a kit or on the rainbow pile. The next page looks like the TV guide. Do they still publish a TV guide anymore? I have no idea. I don't even remember the last time I had to look up when something was on live TV. It's just not how we watch TV anymore. But I remember my mom pulling out the guide that was published in the Sunday paper, and she kept it in the kitchen by her TV and was always consulting it to decide what to watch next. Another great nostalgic paper if you have something like that to document. I love it when papers like this give us ideas for layouts to create. On the B side is a tone on tone word search paper. This is a great color and could be very versatile. You could use this in any kind of kit or as a background. I may be putting this in the rainbow pile. And I believe this last sheet is the stickers. Yes. So that's the entire collection. Any papers that will go in my Carta manufacturer bin will go with this sticker sheet. Let me get out my sticky notes and we'll go back through the collection. These are the same categories I've been using all along. I'll make a pile for my kit starters. I'll make a pile for my rainbow bin, and I'll make a pile to go into my Carta manufacturer file. Let's look at each paper again and break this collection down. I'm not sure how I would use this one, but I do have childhood photos that could work. On the B side is a red tone on tone that could just go in the rainbow bin, but this paper is really unique and I'd like to try and use it. If I don't have any photos to go with it, I can always put it in the rainbow bin. So this is going to go in my Carta file for now. I really like this board game box paper. We do play board games, and someday I'll document that. This paper is multicolored, so it's a good kit starter. This paper is cute, but I'm not sure the spinners would fit with any kind of layout I would create. And I love a good basic tone on tone print, and it doesn't get any more basic than polka dots. We don't always see navy basic papers, so I'm going to put this in the rainbow bin for now. We'll see if it makes it into a kit. The cut aparts. Sometimes I use them, but mostly I don't. You don't have a choice not to buy them with the collection pack, so now I have to do something with this. The dominoes or the dice is a nice basic with just the black and white. Game on. This is a really cute card. I might use one or two of these, but I'm not sold on it just yet, so I'm going to put this in the Carta pile for now. I do like this TV console paper. I should go through my childhood photos to see if I can find something for this one. But more likely, I would use it on the record side. I do have a subject I could make a page about that would feature records. I'm not going to make a page kit for this one yet, though. It's just an idea. I don't have any photos, so I'll put this in the Carta file for now. The slide paper with the starbursts on the back. The slides are super cute, but the B side is more usable. And I like that dark blue background. And the kit starter pulls in all of the same colors. So I think I'm going to put this with the kits. This phrase paper is really busy. I'm not sure that I would use it on this side, but on the B side is that great tone on tone paper. This could really go into any kind of kit, so I'll put this in the rainbow pile for now. I love this one. I need to think about how I could use this, but I'm keeping it for sure. What was on the back of this one? Oh, it was that text print. That doesn't do much for me, so I'm going to keep this one in my Carta file for now. These soda bottles, I like this. What was on the back? Oh, it was the game board. Okay, so more than likely, I would use this on the game board side. But if I cut the paper in half or something, I could keep the scraps and use that for the soda bottle, so I would have a use for them. The bingo cards. I like this. They are colorful and could be a great kit starter. The B side is a nice neutral print that could go with anything. For now, I think I'm just going to keep this one in the Carta pile. The food paper. What was on the back of this one? Oh, it was the red squares tone on tone paper. These kind of look like game boards to me. This one would be a good add to the kit. So I'd have the game board, the blue starburst, the red tone on tone paper, and the game boxes. These papers contrast and have different motifs. So here's the kit I'll have from this collection. And here's the TV guide paper. The backside has a nice turquoise color with a word search. This could be used as a background paper, so I think I'll put this one in the rainbow pile. Wow, it was actually pretty easy to break down this collection. Now I have this kit that I will add to create a game board layout at some point down the road. This will stay in my kit starters until I'm inspired to create a layout with some game board photos. We just talked about all of these prints. This is the only kit that will go into my kit starters. In the rainbow stack, I have 3 papers, the navy blue polka dot, the aqua tone on tone, and this blue word search paper. Going into my Cartabella file are the multicolor bingo cards, the Brady Bunch family frame paper, the records, the cut apart sheet with the dominoes or the dice, whatever they are, on the back, and the cool retro family print. I need to go through some childhood photos and see if I have anything that I could use to create with these papers. And I'll add the sticker sheet here. Let me gather these up. We can move on to the last collection. So here we go with Farmer's Market by Echo Park. I love the colors in this collection. They're deeper tones than most summer type collections, so this would be perfect for late summer, early fall. Look at this floral. I love papers like this. This is definitely a kit starter for me. Kit starter papers for me need to have multiple colors, and this one does. Red, blue, aqua, pink, yellow. All of the colors from the collection on a white background. On the back is a nice tone on tone green leaf print. This is the kind of paper I could use on all sorts of layouts. So this would be a great one for the rainbow pile if it were not for the pretty flowers on the other side. I'm definitely using the flowers. The next paper is a sheet of 4x4 cut aparts. There are some cute kitchen and farmhouse images. If there's an image from the cut aparts that you can't find on a sticker sheet, you could fussy cut it from here and not use them as a 4x4 card. But I'm not a huge fan of fussy cutting or cut aparts even, so let's see what's on the back. Oh, we've got lots of kitchen utensils and pot holders and jars. This could be a kit starter too with all of the colors. My husband and I do like to cook, so I could probably snap some photos of us cooking together one of these days. Don't you love it when you go through papers and it gives you ideas for photos to take? Yep, I can always use ideas like that. The next paper is a full sheet of seed packets, mostly veggies, but there's a few flowers here too. This would be a great to document planting your garden or even the harvest from your garden at the end of the season. This could be a great background and it would be great for fussy cutting and using these as embellishments. And it would be easy to cut this paper into strips. On the back side is a tone on tone red print with X's and O's. This is a versatile paper that could go into any kind of kit. It would be perfect for the rainbow pile if I don't use these seed packets somewhere. This paper is kitchen scales with fruit and flowers, apples, lemons, blackberries. This is another paper that you could cut into strips or fussy cut for embellishments. On the backside is this very pretty aqua blue gingham. I love this one. I love me a good basic tone on tone paper. I sometimes like the basics more than the A sides, and this is a good paper for a kit. Next up is the 3x4 cut apart sheet. Lots of cuteness here. Larger seed packets, more farmhouse inspiration, and I really like this cute blackberry jam jar. On the back side are pies and breads and cookies on cake stands. In our household, my husband is the baker. My preferred method of baking is to dump a pouch into a bowl and add an egg. I like to cook, but I don't like to measure, so it's just not a good idea for me to bake. My husband will get out the flour and the sugar and the mixer and measure everything, so I leave the baking to him. If I ever document his baking skills, this is a paper I could use. I would definitely use this side before I'd use the cut aparts, so I may end up making a kit with this paper too. The next paper is a variety of farm images, a windmill, a red truck, a barn. This doesn't really apply to my life and where we live, so I'm not sure I would ever use this side. And on the back, oh yes, look at this wood grain. This paper is really nice. I do have a section in my color rainbow for wood grain papers. Actually, it's not that big because I use a lot of wood grain papers before they ever get put into my stash. But if this does not make it into a kit, I can put it in the rainbow pile. Here's another cut apart sheet. This one has more sentiments if you wanted to cut these out and make cards, or you could use them for titles. On the back is another gingham. This one is a larger scale in black and white. This is a good basic. I have a harder time with ginghams the bigger they get. I do prefer the smaller size patterns, but this could be a good background paper. Let me slide this over. Yeah, I would use this for a background. And if you trim the paper down smaller, you'd be able to see more of that gingham print. I'd probably add this one to the rainbow pile. Next is a full sheet of jars with all of the patterns from the collection. I love papers like this. You can always fussy cut the images or cut this paper into strips. If you're someone who does a lot of canning, this would be fun to use. On the back, oh, this pretty floral. This is a nice, smaller print and would be perfect in a kit. It's a different size and scale from the other floral we saw at the beginning, and certainly different from the larger flowers on the next paper. I like how these are organized vertically on the background. It's an all over print, but more linear like a vine. Here's another floral. This paper would be great as a kit starter with all of the colors from the paper collection. The size and scale is bigger. These are bigger than the first floral we looked at, and this one brings in more of the darker tones from the collection. You've got that navy and the darker red with small splashes of yellow. And on the backside is another gingham. This one is more medium sized, bigger than the blue, but smaller than the black one. I really like this mustard color. You don't see this color that much, so this would be a great paper to put in the rainbow pile. I wish I had multiples of this one. The next paper is a 4x6 cut apart sheet. This one would be perfect for pages documenting a recipe. On the backside, we have black and white design of cows and pigs and chickens. My husband actually has a home decor piece with a cow, pig, and chicken stacked up on each other. There's probably a story about why he has it and where he got it. I'll have to ask him about it. He'd love to add more cow, pig, chicken to our kitchen if we had wall space, but we don't. I'd probably keep this one to document that one day. I would never have purchased this paper, but since I got it as part of a collection pack, I'll hold on to it. I've already said this a couple of times, but I love it when our pattern papers give us ideas for photos and layouts. Here we have kitchen canisters on a medium blue background. There's flour, coffee, sugar, and tea. I like the background being this medium blue. This would add a good contrast with a paper with a white background. On the back is a floral paper with a pink background. Tiny little flowers with red berry circles, or maybe they're supposed to be cherries. This is super cute and perfect contrasting paper to add to a kit. The next paper has a collection of flowers in galvanized bins and a teapot, jam jars, and some lemons. This could be a great kit starter with a variety of colors and images, but for me, It looks like the B side has another tone on tone blue paper. This dark blue, it could actually be dark teal, is really pretty. These are just circles, very versatile, and can be used in any kind of kit. Here's the sticker sheet, which will go with the papers that end up in my Echo Park file. Let me get out my sticky notes and we'll go back through each paper. These categories should be familiar by now. Let's divide up this collection. There are a couple of floral options. Let me get them all out so I can decide which one I'm most likely to use. We have this first paper, the larger scale floral, and then that smaller scale vine-like print if I can find it. Here are all three. For me personally, I have an easier time using flowers with a medium scale, so I like the middle paper. This larger print is gorgeous, but the bigger scale is putting me off a bit. And when I flip this paper over, there's the goldenrod yellow gingham. So it's often the B-sides that I really want because this would be so easy to work into a kit. So between these other two florals, I like this one better. There's more colors here, the navy is stronger, and the flowers are a little bit bigger. I'm going to put this one in the kid starter pile. On the back side is this pretty green tone-on-tone leaf print, so I'll be able to use both sides if I cut the paper up. The green would contrast against the white background of the floral side, so this is my kit starter. For now, I'll put this gingham in the rainbow pile, and we'll see if that gets put into a kit. This paper has the flowers on this side, and the other side is the jam jars. I'd probably go for the flowers first. I think this will be good in a page kit, so I'll put this over in that pile for now. This one is the 4x4 cut aparts, and on the other side, the kitchen utensils. I can see me making a kit with this for a cooking page, so I'll put this in the kit starters. I probably wouldn't use the cut aparts. Here's the seed packet paper. On the back is the tone on tone red accent O print. This paper would be really fun to document a visit to a farmer's market, or if we ever did like a pick your own veggie place, I could use this. So I want to keep this and I'll put this in the Echo Park pile. Here are the kitchen scales with a variety of different fruits. You've got apples and lemons and blackberries, but on the B side is the aqua gingham. This is the winner for me. It may end up in a kit, but for now, I'll put this in the rainbow pile. Here are the 3x4 cut aparts, and on the back is the baked goods paper with the bread and the pies and the cookies. I want to keep this paper. I may create a kit with it because I'll do a page about baking someday, so I'm going to put this in the kit starters. Here's the farmhouse paper that I wouldn't use, but the wood grain on the backside I would use all day long. This is the winner, and I'll put it in the rainbow pile. Here's another cut apart paper. I probably wouldn't use this side. On the back is the black and white gingham. I'll put this in the rainbow pile for now. I can always use more black and white prints. This is the 4x6 cut apart paper with the recipe cards. On the back is cowpig chicken that gave me the idea for a layout. I'm keeping this in my Echo Park pile. I probably wouldn't use this canister print, but on the back is the pretty pink floral. This is a great kit paper and would contrast against any of these other kit starter papers, so I'll put this in the kit pile. Here's the flowers in the vases and the buckets, but on the backside is the dark blue, and again, this would be a great kit filler, so I'm putting this in the kit pile. Look how nice this paper looks with the pink paper. I think right here is my kit. This floral with the pink and the dark blue paper. All of the things I like to include in a kit. A multicolor paper on a white background, a contrasting pink paper with flowers in a different size and scale, and a darker blue paper with a circle motif. So there's differences in size and scale, different motifs, and contrast. A perfect kit. Let's see what we have left over. This floral with the jam jars on the back. This utensil paper that I could do something around cooking, and this one about baking. These two would be for different layouts, so I should start looking for papers for each one. This baked good papers has warmer tones and the utensils has more blues and galvanized tin. But first, the other floral. I like this paper. It could be a kit starter, but I already have this other kit and this floral wouldn't work with it. So I'm going to put this in the Echo Park file. What else do I have left over? This baked good papers has the yellows, so I'm going to put this gingham with it. I like these together. This is a good start to a kit. What about the wood grain? Would that look good with these? Yes, it would. But actually, I think the wood grain is going to look better with my other kit too. It would be a great background for this floral, right? Yep, I think this is going to move right over into my kit. It's just too perfect. But I still like the yellow gingham with this baked goods paper. I would need to add more patterns because it needs more color and some contrast. Like a green would probably work with these papers. Let me see how that leaf paper would look with this. There is green in one of the cake stands. I could also bring in the darker blue. These would all look great together, and it gives me some ideas for what to look for in my rainbow bin to add in. But I really want this blue with the pink, so I'm not breaking up the kit I've already put together. I'm going to keep these two papers together, knowing that I'll need to add more color to it. Now, let me see what I might have to work with this kitchen utensil paper. I still have the blue gingham. That might work. Yes, look at how the gingham pulls out the blue from the bowls. So this is the start of another kit, and I can add more papers to it later when I have photos. So now I have everything in each pile. I'll go through each one more time for a final review. I have 3 kits for my kit starters bin. This kitchen paper is great with the aqua gingham. I may need to try to find a deep burgundy red. Wouldn't that be fun with this blue gingham? So these 2 papers are a kit. This bakery goods paper with the yellow gingham is a kit. And then I still have 4 full papers in another kit with the floral, the wood grain, the pink, and the dark blue tone-on-tone papers. I may put this one at the front of my kit starters. When I see papers in a combination like this, it makes me want to drop everything and find photos to go with them. And isn't that the kind of inspiration and motivation we all need to get us scrapbooking? This black and white will go in my rainbow bin, and these other papers that are more random will go in my Echo Park file along with the sticker sheet. And that is the last collection in my space. Thank you for all of your kind comments on these videos. They've been fun to make. This is how I break down collection packs so that I will actually scrapbook with the papers. I know we all store our papers differently, but I still hope you found these videos helpful and they gave you some ideas. Thanks for watching. See you next time.